If you need the water, check the beaches in the Carolinas. If you need the mountains, try the Appalachian Trail. If you need the redwood trees, gotta go to Yosemite. If you need me, 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 I'll be in Kansas City.
Welcome to Kansas City Limits Radio. Today we've got Stranded in the City telling us what they're about. And they're not stranded today. They know exactly where they're at. They're at Kansas City Limits, and we're so excited to find out about their history, their music, and what they've been doing. But before we get into all that, let's all say hello to J.E. Cornwell, our co-host.
Hello, Robert.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Hi, fellas.
What's going on?
What's going on?
What is going on?
It's a beautiful fall day here in Kansas City. We're an excited group of guys here to talk about your music. But before we get there, we want to talk a little bit about the sponsors to make the show possible. And thanks for listening at home, TV, radio, wherever you're at in your car for checking out Kansas City Limits. We want to thank Kansas City RVs, voted 2023's favorite RV dealer in Kansas City by the Kansas City Star. We want to thank AMPR, Area Musicians Promotional Resource, a non-for-profit organization. We want to thank Black Moon Media, LLC, photos, videos, and magical souls, and our Kansas City Limits executive producer partners. We want to thank Open Mortgage, where better is possible, and it's still cheaper to buy than to rent. Kansas City, Knuckleheads, #1 music joint, voted by the Kansas City Magazine. Frank and those folks know how to do music right. Almost 5-7 days a week of music. Check it out. Kansas City Limits TV and radio, the products that showcase local original artists here from Kansas City, and much more. Soundworks Recording Studio in Blue Springs for over 20 years, where this program, Kansas City Limits Radio, is recorded. S&S Printing, a commercial printing and design company. B4 Productions, creating commercials and videos. They'll bring your ideas to life. And Midwest Music Foundation, giving local musicians the care they deserve. Welcome to Kansas City Limits Radio, guys. So glad you could join us here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, Robert. That was outstanding.
You know, I screwed up one little place, but that's okay. You know, I'm only human.
You made up for it. And
That's right.
Plus, Frank gets a plug from us all the time.
All the time. We love them.
They'll be fine.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, Timmy,
Yeah.
Andre, Antonio. We're missing Matt, the bass man, and we're missing DJ. And I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So, unless there's some other backups that I don't know about.
The future musicians.
Yeah, well, they're lost. We'll talk bad about them. Nah.
No.
All right, well, let's jump in. I wanted to talk about the new album. Let's see. First off, we had you guys featured as one of the showcase bands in June, about 4 months ago now, right?
Yeah, I think so. June was end of June, maybe, I think.
And you and I had schemed and planned that months before because you knew that was going to be kind of the time, right?
Yeah, man. That was a lot of fun. We still appreciate you having us for that, man.
You guys kicked
was.
it out of the park. It was a great jam, and the weather kind of chilled out right there at sunset.
Yeah. It was a good night all the way around. But we got the new album out. Actually, we put that on the keepsake tickets, which I know we were going back and forth, or actually you guys were going back and forth on that final name, but we finally got that in time for the show, and it went off really well. Well, how's the new album doing now?
It's doing really good, man. We've had a lot of positive response, not only locally, but kind of around the nation, really. And a lot on the West Coast. We've gotten to connect with some people out there. And then, just a lot of people have come out and bought the physical record for us, so that helps out a lot. And it's just been nice hearing people play it. You know, always it's cool going out to shows and seeing people singing the songs because they already know the lyrics. I mean, I
bet
that's a great feeling, isn't
it's
it?
Awesome.
When you know that. Now, you said they physically got a copy, so Is that CD, vinyl? How are you distributing that?
CD.
CD.
Yep.
And people can download this obviously too.
Yes.
Yes.
They can.
Awesome. And how many tracks are on that?
8 tracks. Oh, nice.
And was it kind of a pick between 8 tracks out of 20 or 8 tracks out of 10, or were like these the 8 tracks? Let's just lay them down.
Well, I feel like over time we've had a lot of tunes that we've kind of worked on, and then all of a sudden, we were all kind of in a mood, and AJ was definitely in a mood. He wrote a lot of songs, and we kind of just wrote a bunch of new stuff,
Right on.
and then we put it on the record, and it was crazy. It was awesome.
It was a new wave of feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've got some stuff still in the back pocket that we didn't put in the record, but I think the ones that we did, it flowed real nice, and Tony did a great job laying it out and kind of putting the album together. And yeah, I think it was a good first record. It was nice. It told a story. It touched a lot of different like genres, I would say, and a lot of different styles, and
It really did.
Kind of encompassed a lot of different things we do. So
Tony, do you record and mix it, produce it? No.
Who did it for you?
Who did that for you?
yeah, so we started with Dwayne. Dwayne at Weights and Measures
Okay.
did a lot of the tracking for us.
Okay.
And then one of our friends, Zach Alvey, did some of the tracking for us. Him and our good friend Ethan.
Cool.
They kind of did some of the guitar parts, a couple of the background parts, just some things we needed to do some final touches on.
Right on.
And then we sent it to this guy, Kevin Houston, out of Memphis, and he mixed it for us. And then Kevin Nix out of L Nix Mastering, he mastered it for us.
Right on.
Yeah, man.
How'd you
it was-
find them?
So Kevin Houston, I actually got connected with through Making Movies. So I've been hanging out with Juan Carlos and Enrique a little bit, and I was just trying to find, a different cat, just like somebody just to kind of like who hasn't been familiar with us, just to kind of see,
what their take is.
yeah,
on it,
what their take is. And so Enrique and Juan Carlos had worked with this guy in the past, and so we connected, and it was great. And then he put us on to Kevin Nix, and Kevin Nix has done a lot of mastering for a lot of different, groups, solo artists, and so that was real nice to kind of just get a fresh set of ears, and kind of go outside the city, you know what I mean, and just
Sure.
try something different. It was our first record.
It's cool that
So-
you know someone local to you that you can ask for that advice that's in the scene that can give it to you. And let's give a shout out to Making Movies. I mean,
Yeah,
those
for
guys
sure.
have been hammering and hammering and hammering and hammering, and they're not too busy to try to help out.
Yeah, man, they do a lot for the community, and they're growing, exponentially this year, especially. So, yeah, big shout outs to them. Best of luck and best wishes to them moving forward, man. They're great guys. So we've known Juan Carlos for years, and Enrique and Diego, their dad, had played with our dad on a show once upon a time, and Juan Carlos is so.
Enrique is who I met first down there off of Southwest Traffic Way, and talked to him for a little bit, and then I booked Making Movies for Briarfest one time. And that led to us chatting, but just real talented souls, man, and they just know how to bring it. So
Didn't you
kudos
guys
to them.
play with them this summer? Didn't you guys?
Yeah, Knuckleheads in the garage.
Oh, was it at Knuckleheads?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. Was that a good show?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't make that one. And then you guys were at Lemonade Park, right? This year?
We played for Sabalos.
Yeah, this event called Sabalos.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? And I know I missed you guys a couple weekends ago. I got a call from a gal that had heard about us from Briarfest. It was the jazz gig that you guys did over at Metropolitan College there.
Yeah, Jazz in the Valley.
Jazz in the Valley.
Yeah, man.
And
That was cool.
She called me
was
like
fun.
2 weeks before the gig, and I'm like, I don't think I can get a camper out there. And I just,
For sure.
I mean, because I don't move them. I have a guy that I pay to move them, and so I kind of work off of his schedule.
Yeah,
And
man, that was a real cool event. I think next year, we might be doing that again, but that's a really
I told her to call me. Call me and give me more advance notice.
yeah, definitely, man, because
Yeah.
it's a fundraiser for the students, I believe. So like that's something that could really take off.
That's
with the
important.
right backing, you know what I mean, and the right
in their
support.
parking lot right there at
Yeah.
the college, right?
Yep, right, just
Yeah.
right out there.
That's important. I mean, these young people have to see there's something that the rest of us are trying to do with them, because right now it's all just whatever the hell, free for all. let's talk a little bit about Free for All. How the hell did you guys all meet? And who was the first components of this musical nucleus that we see that turned into Stranded in the City?
Yeah. So I met Tony when he was born.
Had no choice.
Right when he got planet Earth, you were right there with
exactly. I
us.
was right
Hey,
there.
welcome to Earth, Tony.
Yeah,
His vocals are pretty good. Or you got me
You're gonna be in this band. And you don't know it yet, but you will be. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
So you've known him since childhood, obviously.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
so,
great. That's cool.
you
And
know.
you guys lived near each other?
We're brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, you're brothers. So
Yeah,
that's as close
yeah.
as you can get.
Exactly.
And then, but growing up, is there many siblings or just you two?
Just us.
Nope, just us.
Just
two.
you two.
Yeah.
So you had to play with each other.
Exactly. We had
Yeah.
nobody else really. We didn't have any friends.
Were you both-
I'm just kidding.
Were you both musically instantaneously into sound and music, or did one of you start jamming and the other one start checking it out?
He's 5.5 years older than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's an old man.
So
yeah.
he was already doing things with music.
Well, let's
you saw it and went to it.
Yeah, there was a drum set. There was like a kid's drum set set up in our living room,
Right
at my
on.
parents' house. So
Yeah, well,
I
let's
just
give a
remember
shout
playing
out
that.
to Andre Senior, and I'm guessing that there's a lot of reason behind these guys getting into music because Andre is a hell of a local musician in town. In fact, this was years ago. Dwayne and Nancy, who are friends of mine, you know, they have the store next to mine, you know, the RV repair guy, Dwayne and Nancy Ledford. I don't know where we were, but we went out to see the All-Stars, Will Hawkins, you know, a friend of mine. And your dad was playing there, and we got to talking, you know, at one of the breaks or stuff. And he was like, man, you need to go see my sons. And, you know, I'm like, who are they? Where do they play?
Are they jugglers? What do they do?
And so, he said, no, they're doing some gigs here in town. And that was about, I think, 3 years ago. And that's when I found you guys. And
Was that at BB's?
it was
I
at
think?
BB's.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. In fact, that's where we booked you last year when we did the Fox 4 deal.
Yep.
Was at BB's. We
Yep.
went up to catch you guys. But yeah, their dad, Andre Senior, is a musician in the family as well.
That helps, you
Yeah.
know.
yeah.
Because sometimes you're like, where's that influence come from? I think it's genetic in some component.
We're a fourth generation musicians.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be genetic in some sort of weird way. I mean, really, honestly, electricity of it
Yeah.
into your genetics, I think, has something to do with music.
Yeah. So shout outs, you know, to our mom and dad for sure. Stephanie and Andre, like they never really were I don't know, against it, you could say. You know,
Right.
they never
They
really
embraced
stopped
it.
us. They only stopped us when it was, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and they gotta work the next day or something. But
Yeah.
I mean, it was nice because all of our dad's best friends, and are all musicians, and our uncle's a musician, and Uncle Steve. And so like that's what we grew up around, all those musicians and like, their spouses, and we're kind of 2 of the only kids out of all of their, all their friends really don't have any kids, but a couple of them do, but none of them.
So
either
you
none
were
of them
You're
there
really
like
did
they're
music.
adopted kids.
Yeah, either none of them did music or like we were just the ones that were always around. So it was like a constant, like just being immersed in music, and not just one genre either. It was everything.
It was all sorts of sounds.
Yeah, and so
Well, that's awesome.
So-
I
it
love
was
that.
great.
Tell us about the other people in the band you're not related to.
Yeah. So
Okay, unless he adopted them. Tell us about them.
no, our parents call them their adopted kids.
bet.
That's cool.
Yes.
But yeah, so we met Tim like years ago. Like,
Tell him how.
yeah, no.
Yeah,
So-
we want to
No,
know.
we met Tim.
we want to know.
We
wanna
met
know.
Our parents went to high school together. right?
Yeah. Our parents all went to high school together, and then like we Tim grew up like 5-10 minutes away from us.
Okay.
And so like our families were kind of connected that way. So we went down and hung out at Tim's house one day, and I'm like, hey, you got a bass? And I didn't really know how to play bass at the time. So but I was still like playing like what I knew. I started out trying to play drums, and I was terrified of the drums. So then I had to learn how to play bass and piano for like a jazz camp.
Right.
And then Tim had a bass, so I was like jamming on that. And ironically, we had met Matt through Tim like years ago. But like we weren't really close to Matt at the time. Like we just kind of knew Tim more or less.
He was in the distance.
Yeah, well,
there.
Tim and Matt are best friends.
I see.
Yeah, and so they grew up together. And then like I think Tony met DJ at KCK. Yeah, and so DJ jumped on after our cousin Evan stayed in Florida after Tony and I moved down to Florida for a while. And
I
then,
see.
Yeah.
DJ's percussion and
Yep.
Matt's bass.
So it
yeah.
was kind of an emulsion of people that had been from your past, some people you knew,
Exactly.
and everyone doing some music. And you guys, was it just, did everyone have outside different musical interest in different kind of genres? Or were you guys primarily in the same kind of desired genres of sound? I mean, because with that many people, I find that there's a lot of different musical
Oh,
taste.
yeah, for sure.
It's
Yeah.
definitely been like an amalgam of all of us and where
Okay.
we come from with it. You know, we all have our different, you know, favorites,
Right?
if you will.
Right?
It's kind of not a
What you like
yeah.
covering the
You know,
best.
yeah, because I came up playing like rock and roll and hard rock, like AC/DC,
Speed
all
metal.
that kind of stuff. You know, and then I meet these guys and they're like, "Hey, play some pretty chords." And I was like,
What's a
I-
chord?
and I was like, "What's a chord?" You know,
You know, that must have been going from like, 80 miles an hour to like, chill the hell out.
yeah. Well,
You know,
so Matt and I were in a band together in high school,
right?
and we wrote our own music, and we would play like showcase shows.
Right
So
on.
I didn't play my first ever like real gig until after I had gone to Tony's graduation party from high school.
Right?
And then they were like, "Oh, you could kind of play that thing, man." I was like, "Well, I've learned some songs, you know." But that was like the extent of it for me. I like to write music with my buddies and play in the garage, you know.
Right on.
And then you know, AJ calls me one day. He's like, "Hey, can you play a minor 7 chord?" I was like, "Yeah, I got a shape for that." And then he was like, "Can you play a major 7 chord?" I was like, "Yeah, I got one of those too." He was like, "Well, perfect. Why don't you come do this gig with me at this art fair?"
Oh yeah, yeah. It was like out in DeSoto. or something? It
DeSoto
was like
Art
at a
Fair. It was like
barn.
it was at a barn. We were set up in the field. They put us under a tent,
I
and then
just
we
moved
played
back.
with a
God bless
couple
them.
other friends. You know, it wasn't a Stranded in the City show.
Sure.
But then he was like, we rode out there together. He goes, "Dude, do you like maybe want to sub in for the guitar and Stranded in the City? Because I'm trying to play some gigs, and I think you could probably do it, man."
So the name was already there. You guys had
Yeah.
already put the name out there.
Yeah, yeah.
How'd that-
It actually wasn't like it wasn't even close to this lineup when we first started. Honestly, it was like
Yeah.
Tony and I, and like we had like two or three
Yep,
horns, and like a
yep.
bass player, and like that was it. No guitar. Like we played a birthday party like all these years ago.
It was 4 or 5 years ago I had you guys for a gig,
Yeah,
and the faces had changed.
yeah. I think this band like it's probably been about 5 years now in the making
Yeah.
with
yeah.
this solid lineup, and finally like kind of getting that group of people that you're just really comfortable with. you
When
know?
did the
You trust
nucleus?
each other.
When did you and Antonio decide on starting the band, and how did Stranded in the City, the name, how did that come to be?
It was right after he got potty trained.
Well, that he knew he was in the band.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think our first paid gig, I was probably like 8 years old.
See?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we were young, like 8 and 13.
Yeah.
And then it just like kind of went through all these transformations, and the name kind of changed. And then we finally picked the name. Like we were hanging out and we were booking that first show. We still didn't have a name yet. We're like, man, we got to have something. I'm pretty sure it was like a week before, it was close. And like the
6
guys, we were just
days.
hanging out like at our parents' house, like eating pizza. And we're just like going through on this Pizza Hut box and just like writing
Right on.
stuff down. That finally, I don't know, that name just kind of stuck with us.
It's a
And-
killer name, and the first time I ever heard it, it was almost like a duh, like the opposites of two different things. Of Stranded in the City, how can that be? That everything's around you. Well, it starts taking shape. You don't know where the hell I'm at, either in a good place or a bad place.
yeah.
And then and I was thinking about it emotionally when you said that in the Stranded in the City, but it could go to physical things and transportation things,
I first
economic
thought
things.
of Sex in the City. That's where I went.
There you
Sure.
go.
That's for Jay.
Stranded.
Yeah. Stranded City. No one's going to make love to me tonight. I'm screwed.
How my mind works.
I thought I was going to kiss someone tonight. That's right.
So, okay, you're 13 and 8. You're gigging. You guys have the
They're
desire.
ballers at 13 and 8. They're cruising the streets. They're making sounds.
Exactly.
All right.
And so, were you going to gigs with your dad? Was he playing and let you guys come and hang out? And did you get to play with him?
I played a lot with him growing up,
And you're still playing with him.
especially throughout high school, and then when AJ went to college. Yeah, I played a lot
Very
with him.
cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, what about mom? Does mom play?
No, mom cooks though. really
Mom's
well.
the,
Very
Mom
cool.
feeds
she's
the musical
glue.
instruments.
She's the support.
Mom
yeah.
knows how to cook. Well, so does dad, but
Yeah.
it starts with her. She holds it down. She's the boss. She knows what she's doing though. She can run a sound rig. She can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She definitely keeps it together. She keeps us all grounded.
And
She
your
makes sure we're
dad,
taken care of.
he's
cool.
on. He plays drums, correct?
Plays drums and keyboards and
keyboard, yeah.
sings. Yeah, he's
Because I saw him not too long ago. Actually, with Dwayne and Nancy, he was doing a gig out by their house in Grandview. I think it was a little brewery type thing. It was the first and last time I'd ever been to that place.
okay.
But yeah, he was playing out there. It was right around the corner from where they live, over by Gale's Power Sports.
Oh
there.
yeah.
In fact, right behind him. But anyway, okay, moving on. We've got a couple of things I wanted to ask you on this album. The album, as you guys indicated, is out. It's available on all the downloads, all the streaming. You do have CDs. You plan on maybe putting it out on some vinyl?
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah.
I love vinyl. So
Yeah.
just so you know, I'll buy some vinyl. If you put it out there.
There's two problems with vinyl. Limited producers. There's 3 companies. The wait is 5.5 to 6 months in some cases. And you got to buy 100 plus as a minimum, and they're charging you between $8 and $9. You got to drop a lot of money and wait
It's
a long
expensive,
time.
yeah.
You almost have to create a vinyl album for the purpose of it being a vinyl album,
I agree,
and have that
though.
material, and go ahead and spend the money, make it, knowing it's going to be the album that's going to jump over your CD release.
But it's also
You know.
just that. I mean, it's a keepsake. I mean, not
Yeah.
that CDs and, downloads can't be, but I believe that an album has more shelf life, as it's proven to be. But I would say that you've got an album out or a CD out, you got music out that's doing well, then, you come back and look at that. Just like any of the other stuff that we've got on here today.
There you
It just
go.
becomes merch,
Yeah, I would totally love to put it on vinyl. I think we just have to plan it right.
Yeah,
you know?
just make that like the album after this next album.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you produce it. It's in the box. It's in the bag. You sent it off. It's done. It's almost like ordered unit. You know it's
Yeah,
coming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So on that album, real quick, let's talk about the inspiration that brought that to be. So you guys talked about, you'd had some songs that you'd been writing, you've been putting together.
But this was a new sound that kind of hit you, or a new feeling.
And was that based off of some of the live stuff that you were doing, the cover stuff that you were doing, or where'd that idea for this new album come from?
So I wrote most of it actually. A lot of it, man, just kind of came like naturally from the experiences I've kind of faced in life. Honestly, like a lot of either old relationships or even like my current, like relationship, or just things that have happened that I don't know, just kind of stuck with me throughout life. And a lot of the songs either came like I was in the middle of doing something else, and then they just kind of just formed. Like one day I was on a walk and Timmy like
Sends a guitar line
sends me
over.
just a guitar riff, and so I'm just constantly listening to it. And like I think a week or so prior to that, like I received a video like from my girlfriend of Prince, like some band in Nashville covering Prince, and like right in the middle of my walk, like we live on a hill, and so like halfway up the hill I just like get this lyric in my head, and like 10 minutes later I had the whole song down. I had to like stop the walk,
Boom.
go up to Timmy's house, hear it out,
Bammo.
but it came from just his guitar riff and what's it called, Purple Rain. And I didn't put it together until like
Way later.
way
So you
later
heard
that
it
I was
back.
like, I was singing Purple Rain, and I heard the line "Weekend." I sang the words "Weekend Lover," and I'm like, oh, that's where that came from. Like that's where "Weekend Lover" was inspired from. Was those two words, and then thinking about things that
Yeah.
had happened in my life.
That's a
recently
great song,
from
by the
that,
way. I
so-
love that song on your album. In fact, we got that out on the TV show, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
That
did.
was a good one. Okay, Robert, you want to hit that next one there?
We've had some musicians in and out. You guys seem to be like a younger group of guys, obviously, that have hit this and had some earlier successes. We meet a lot of people that have had lots of successes and they're still doing music, but they're not where they wish they would be right now at their current life, age-wise. You guys seem to have really just a lot going for you right now. What do you see if you could put a perfect picture? 2 questions. Who would you like to perform with? Anyone in the entire musical world? And each one of you can answer that because I'd like to hear from each one of you if you could perform or open up for a group. Who would you love to have that happen? And then the other thing, too, is like taking that same kind of enthusiasm. Is your aspirations and your goals as artists to be in that kind of level and that kind of arena? If it is, tell us a little bit about what you think you have to do to hit that goal.
Oh man. Okay, so who would I want to open for or play with?
Yeah. And how are you going to achieve your musical goals?
Yeah. I think if I could play with anybody, like actually play with somebody, I think it would be like Los Only Boys or Santana or something like that. And then opening, I think I would say the same thing. You know what I mean?
Right
These
on.
guys. But
I mean, we kind of opened up.
yeah,
for
we
Los
kind of
Only
opened up
Boys.
for Los Only Boys, so that was cool. We
Okay,
already
very
kinda
cool.
checked that off.
Check.
But I think like the goal would be to find somebody who could just get us to that next plateau, like willingly, and
And-
then like
An agent?
an agent
a
or maybe just
platform of
somebody who's
sorts?
willing to like say, okay, you guys got it. Like I know you just need help getting to the next level.
Okay.
Here's what I'm gonna do to get you there. And I know like things take money, and I know things take a bottom end or whatever, like a starting point, and that's cool. But I think the biggest thing we could use is like just finding somebody who's willing to say, man, you guys have that sound. or
Someone
you
that
guys have
believes in you.
something. Yeah, like
Yeah.
there's something right there. Like I know my return investment, it might take a while, but I think you guys could do it. You know what I mean? I think you guys can get there. And
I don't think it'd take very long with you guys, honestly.
yeah. I think the hard thing is like a lot of people want that, you need to give me this so I can get you that. And it's like, well, I don't really know people like that. You know what I mean? I think that's my hard thing. It's just hard for me to really trust somebody when like that big of a risk is being taken. So it's like
Well-
really finding somebody I can have confidence in that's going to say, all right, I'm really about you guys. Like I trust, I need you to trust me. And like, we're going to get you there. And I just want to get to the point where, like we can travel and we can do this thing and like have successes. I don't need to sell out to, 100,000 people or 50,000 people, but to go somewhere and have a packed house and like be able to still come home and like feed my family for, off that is
You
great.
want the dream world. You want to be able to gig and survive and share it with your family,
exactly. And I'm not asking to be the richest person.
Sure.
I'm asking to be like just financially okay, secure, stable.
You
know?
mentioned family, and that's probably a really important component. A lot of musicians, we've talked about how they've kind of screwed up their families from deciding to chase music. And then we've met some people that have been like, I wanted to chase music earlier, but I had my family to worry about.
For sure.
And I had to work my jobs, to take care of my family. So, bringing it back to the people that support you in the first place is always important.
Oh yeah.
If someone is out there believing in you, it's going to happen.
For sure.
And part of this radio show is you put it out to the world right there. So,
Yes. Help.
yeah.
Well, I mean, that's part of
Yeah.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody, I don't care who you are. I mean, if you're a local band and you're have aspirations and you got dreams that are, wanting to maybe get a label to look at you, you're wanting to get,
Just some attention.
a song that, becomes, I knew these guys that put out some music, and the guy up in Lawrence who put a movie together, and their song got on the soundtrack. It was the
That's
biggest
cool.
thing that ever happened to that band, right?
Yeah.
You know, that shit happens, right? That is what you do. But you're also, I mean, you're out gigging all the time. I follow you guys, and I have for years. You're a hardworking band. I know. I try to see you at least once a month wherever you guys are playing. So that's the other part of it. You know, is you're still doing what you got to do in order to get there. But I think if you guys get that break, or if you've got somebody that, you know, says, yeah, we'll take that shot. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are
Just a matter of time.
I think
You're young.
and I think a lot of people that see you guys, I think everybody kind of gets that vibe too. I mean,
Yeah, and I know we got to move on to the next cast, but I think just the biggest thing is like, for me, like the way I look at it is like, I'm not asking you for a handout. I'm not asking you for a, you know, like help me type thing. I'm just asking for some guidance, some advice. You know, I think
Yeah.
people get confused between people asking for a handout and people asking for like a lesson. You know, a teaching.
You
know?
almost need a sign
good
that
point.
says, "Please let me entertain you.
Yeah.
Please let me entertain you. In exchange, I'll ask for a few dollars and some smiles."
Yeah, exactly. And
And is this a good trade?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I think the biggest thing, like, this isn't just about us. Like, this is about, you know, doing what some of these other people are doing, is like taking it and like growing and getting to a level to where like we can come back and help the next, you know, young group of people.
Inspire them.
You know, like
Yeah.
to be the next big thing. I think that's the one thing in the city that's lacking, is like there's not enough people boosting each other up. We're still kind of like competing against one another, and like we're trying to be a bigger market. So how are we going to do that? We got to help each other get to that next
That's a
There's
great
a little
point.
plateau.
There's a
Yeah.
little bit of the vibe. And we'll revisit that in a minute.
Yeah.
Before we get past this, tell us a little bit about your musical influences, and just like we were asking them, and your goals as a musician. And I'm just guessing you're kind of the quiet guy out of the group. Am I right?
Sometimes. Lately, yeah.
Lately, they say you have a beautiful voice. So have you always had this voice, or has it stayed the same?
I sang a lot when we first started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some of your influences, and how do you want to
A
get to your
lot of
goals?
mariachi music, a lot of Mexican music for sure in my background.
Right on.
Played a lot of mariachi music throughout high school. And that's kind of how I made my living.
Do you guys know the Mavericks?
Yeah.
You know that Zydeco mariachi kind of cross Creole combination.
Yeah.
It's a cool sound.
Yeah, it is a cool song.
What are some of your goals writing music? You know, you guys we showcase original artists here. You know, some of that original music, obviously, you put in an album. It goes out to the planet. You know, is there something that you're trying to do specific with your music?
No, just want to reach as many people as I can. And,
Right on.
Yeah. See the world through it.
Are any of these songs that you put together one that you like more than the others?
I particularly like the last song,
Which is
So Big, So Small.
So Big, So Small.
Yeah.
big, so small.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Good tune.
Excellent.
Don't let him fool you, man. He's got all the talent in the world.
I know he does. He is so laid back. I mean, but I've seen him out playing too.
I mean, he's done his own full records on his own, like every instrument, every part. It doesn't
Wow.
matter.
Yeah, he's a music man.
Don't let him fool you.
He's
been
Dude's
his
got
own
it.
deal.
Yeah.
All right, Timmy, your turn.
Man,
Man.
everybody that I dreamed of playing with is like
Dead.
Man, that sucks. That
Maybe
sucks.
D'Angelo, maybe like there was
There
one
you-
of mine, but
Come on, there's got to be
I'm
one
kidding.
who's still
Man,
alive.
okay.
That's
okay.
right. Whoever was dead, who would you have liked to have played with?
Man, I would have liked to open for Jimmy and then just have my mind just like blown.
Jimi Hendrix.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read a lot about him in high school.
Yeah.
I like picked up whatever book I could find, dude.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, something about reading about people who did what I want to do. you know?
Right.
Go out and play the music and, you know, be able to live and eat.
Who else? Who else is some of your?
Some of my influences, man, like I said, I grew up, I picked up a guitar because of AC/DC, because they were my parents' favorite. And they
That's
were
cool.
my favorite too, man. And I
Dumb,
love
dirt, cheap.
duck walking, man. I used to
Right.
do
Yeah.
that all the time
Yeah,
in
yeah.
high school. jump off the stage and run around. It was awesome.
When you were in high school, that probably was the end of the ACD era, though, wasn't it? I mean, you were a young guy.
See, they were my first concert that I ever went to in 8th grade.
Wow.
With your mom and dad?
No, I went with my aunt. It was great.
Oh, cool.
Right
Had a
on,
great
Aunt.
time.
What's her name? Give her a shout out.
Cheryl, my aunt Cheryl.
Atta girl.
Aunt Cheryl, you rock, man.
Yeah, she does.
Kick ass. Drag
Love
more
you, Aunt
people to
Cheryl.
concerts. Yeah, that's cool. I got dragged to
She
Malibu
still
Grand
got the
Prix.
cassette in her car. I'm kidding.
So,
Anybody else?
Anybody else? Man, you're blunt. Yeah,
Well, what-
I will say this about you, Timmy. So the first time I really kind of paid attention, watched you, you guys were down at Mike Kelly's. This was a few years ago, and I think you were opening for Howard,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. And I got close to the stage, and I'm sitting up there, and I'm watching you, and I'm like, huh, fuck, this guy's good. And then you cut into some Carlos Santana.
yeah.
And I could tell that you'd played that song a few times. In fact, I requested that, did I not? When you
Yeah.
guys got to doing your covers at
Yeah.
on the patio there. Is he one of your influences?
I blame these guys. I always loved Santana, but never when I was younger did I say, "Oh, let's learn some Santana,"
Oh, okay.
because I didn't think anybody around me was going to want to play it.
Well, you
either.
know, he was there
And
with
I
Jimi
tend-
Hendrix at
I used
Woodstock.
to. I used to just like playing music that I would be able to play with my friends
Gotcha.
that they would also listen to. So then when these guys were like, "We want to do some Santana, dude, get it together."
Get it
He got
together.
new
So-
friends. He got new friends.
and he went from 80 miles an hour to
Oh.
35.
Well, we got that on video, and it turned out very well on the show. I mean, we didn't add it obviously to the TV show because we can't do covers on the TV show, but we got it on video anyway. When
Right.
you guys played that, yeah. So
The best thing about your band is the tightness of your band and the comfort that someone can have by listening to you guys. When someone's listening to you and they're sitting out in front of you the entire time, you are giving them a comfortable experience. There's nothing like, oh, God, what the hell? There's none of that. It's been great every time I've heard you perform. And that's the best thing about you is if you can come away from a gig always knowing that you've got a great sound you're producing. This is my product. This is what I deliver. This is what I'm selling. And it's consistent and it's a great product and people enjoy it. Man, live in that. When you go to bed at night, know that because that's a true statement coming out of somebody that's heard hundreds of people. Jay would probably back me up on it. You guys deliver a consistent, great product.
well, and I think the fan base that follow you around, they, you know, in addition to liking you on Facebook and doing those things. I mean, they come to the gigs, they get up, they, shout out, they clap, they, do those things. What I liked best about when we had you on the show was we had we let everybody start getting out and dancing, right? So there's people, I didn't even know some of these people, maybe
There was a
friends
couple of special
of
dancers.
your families, but they're out there grooving. Their eyes are closed, man. They are they're into
They're in the
music.
zone.
Yeah, man. It was really cool, but that was well said, Robert. Okay. Again, we're in the studio today with Stranded in the City. These guys, they're a great local band. If you haven't seen them, make a point of going out and seeing them. You can catch these guys at strandedinthecityband.com.
You can book them for the holidays. It's not too late. Book them.
Book 'em for the
Book them.
Facebook is Stranded in the City. Instagram, stranded_in_ the city. There's a lot of underscores in that one.
Exactly. You can just type it straight in the city.
And YouTube also is Stranded in the City Band. So try to find them, guys. And if you
And
can,
share them. Share them with someone else.
tell people about them, download their music, and then let's see. We've got a couple other things I wanted to touch on. So on the new album, the title of the new album is
Riding around.
Riding Around. Okay.
That'll get you in trouble.
And the cover of that album is what? I was confused on this part because I thought I knew when you guys back in June, but is the cover of that the truck?
Yeah, the you're talking about the like what is it actually?
Yeah.
Or like
What is it actually?
it's it's just a truck that we had and like we acted like it was broken down.
Yeah.
In KCK.
And then you see the city in the back.
Yeah.
Right.
So we were stranded in the city.
Get it?
I mean, I
Riding
got
around.
that part, but
Duh.
I didn't realize that that's where that. I mean,
Like where we
because
shot it
I
at?
thought I had seen that before
Oh yeah.
the album, but this was done for the album.
Yeah, this was done for the album.
Oh, okay.
I have an album idea, cover, concept for your next album.
Oh boy.
It's just an island. It's just an island. The trees spell out stranded in the city. And right in the middle of this island is one little building. That's it. And you guys are performing on the top of it. That's it.
Dang.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Dude. And then you open it
Island
up and it's
city.
pictures of you guys partying with a whole thousands of people on it.
Okay. All right, we're talking about the website. So you'll notice today I'm styling my
looks good on
shirt.
you.
It does, man. Thank you. But you guys have on the website, you've got T-shirts. You have the long sleeves or any of the hoodies or any of that stuff as well?
Yeah, I know the t-shirts are on there. I think are the koozies on there and everything? Nah, we got I think you could order the album on there from us too.
On
But
on
you
the
usually
website?
yeah, we
Okay.
usually carry it all with us every show and then if you reach out to us on any of the social media platforms and say, "Hey, here's what I'm looking for."
And they
Or
have
shoot us
big
a
and tall.
message. Yeah.
Yes.
I will style this for you. guys.
Guaranteed delivery within 7 to 10 weeks.
Exactly.
Okay, so all right, again, Andre Reyes Jr., keyboards, vocals, Antonio Reyes or Tony, drums, vocals, Matt Elton is the low man. He's the bass. He makes that low sound.
Boom, boom, boom.
Timmy Keith is the guitar, vocals, and DJ is percussion and I can't read that writing.
It's probably vocals too.
We'll
They
ju-
all sing.
We'll just
Everybody
go with
sings.
we'll go with
Yeah.
percussion.
Yeah.
So that is Stranded in the City. And then let's see, where else did I get to see you guys? You played a couple times this summer out at I don't even know the name of it. It was a patio deal outside, out south.
Patio deal out south.
Yeah, it was jam packed.
Oh, 135th?
Yes.
Oh, that's Prairie Fire.
Prairie
Oh, yeah,
Fire.
yeah,
Yeah. Boy, that was a good gig.
Yeah,
huh?
that's a lot of fun, man.
Well, it
That's-
was
that's a cool
fun. I
show.
didn't realize that they pulled in that kind of crowd, but I enjoyed myself. I knew a lot of people there, but and then some of the other places I know are BB's still. You get to go and play for Jimmy and Mikey, and how about Mike Keller? You guys going down to Kelly's at any?
I don't think there's anything on the calendar
Or
this
West
year
Sider, I
for
mean?
them. Yeah, but we've talked. I think we'll try to get in there sometime next year. And
You do
we've
most
just
of your
been
booking.
so busy. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been so busy though. It's been
What
One
else?
gig
What
after
else is
another.
regular monthlies? Like your regular monthlies on BB's, right?
we have been actually this year. Like we've been there almost
thought
like every
so.
month or every
Yeah.
other month. I know we got one more coming up in December on the 8th, I believe. Christine's Firehouse. I think we're there in November, like the 10th.
Christine's Firehouse.
Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier.
Yeah, and we do like our every second and thirds. We used to just do third Sundays at the Westport Flea Market, but another band canceled, so we've been covering every second and third Sunday.
And are
out
you
there.
also doing the coffee house down there?
No, we
Was that
haven't
you?
done that. No,
Just the flea market?
yeah, just the flea market, and then we got just a few dates left on the calendar, just because we got a lot of private events coming up that we got to do, and
Holidays.
yeah, I know we got one at the cigar shop in KCK. We'll be up there.
You guys got
In
December
December.
7th available, by the way.
Is that a Thursday? Probably.
Let's talk.
There we go.
There we go. Boom. Just like that.
So what about holidays? Is there any big gigs that you want to promote? Get out there?
Man, not that I could think of for the band. I think
Well, let's say BB's on the 8th. We know
yeah,
that.
definitely
that's gonna be
BB's
a
on the
holiday.
8th. Yeah, and then Cigar Shop on December 1st. Christine's on the 10th. I know November we're jam packed with a lot of private stuff on the weekends, but like we do have our 2 Sundays that we got up there, and then like the 12th and the 19th of November, and I guess that would be the 10th and 17th of December, or whatever that would be. Yeah, because
Okay.
Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve are on Sundays.
It's great to be busy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Good for you guys. You deserve it.
And it's because of what I was saying. People can listen to you. You're enjoyable to listen to. You're nice people. You know what the hell you're doing.
And I
Yeah.
know that, just from some of the other guys I know, with Howard and Sean and Adam and those guys and all of them, I know you were in kind of a rotation this summer at Volleyball Beach. But
Oh yeah, man.
I know you guys will separately get in and gig with them and, on your own. And I love that about that whole group of guys. I mean, everybody kind of will get up and play, but I think that's probably over for the year, isn't it? Volleyball
Yeah,
Beach.
we just did our last one last weekend. Yeah, the first.
Were you the last show?
I don't know if we were the last show. I know that was the last one for us. I think
yeah.
they still have league for a couple more
You
weeks.
ever played volleyball with frozen sand and
No,
like landed
I
into
do
it?
not
Oh
want
my
to.
God, it'll cut you up.
Oh,
I believe it.
You are a freak.
Yep.
Okay.
man.
All right. Anything else, Robert? I think we got through our list here.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Again, we're in the studio today with Stranded in the City. Check them out, strandedinthecityband.com. You can book them, download them, buy their merch. They're here, they're local. They do covers and original. Great band. And
All right.
remember,
Take us out.
be good to yourself, be good to others, and be good to musicians. Thanks for listening to Kansas City Limits Radio.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, this one right here is entitled Cruise.
The way I wake you in the morning, the way I call you through the day, the way when we get home I love you in every single way, the way I wrap my arms around you and give you kisses on your lips. I know for sure, my baby girl, I'll never get tired of it. So very now, baby, so I could tell you again. We'll take this ride of love together until the very end. Come on and just cruise with me in love. Sit back and just cruise with me in love. The way you look in all your beauty, the way you stare into my eyes, the way that you stand right beside me. Oh, my heart feels so alive. Take my hand, I'll hold you closely, and let me spin you round and round. We'll sing about our love together as we dance all through the town. So baby now, baby, so I could tell you again. We'll take this ride of love together until the very end. Come on and just cruise with me in love. Sit back and just cruise with me in love. Come on and just cruise with me in love. Sit back and just cruise.
and then let's see. This one right here is called "Where Did You Go."
1, 2, 3, 4.
Where did you go, my lover? Where have you been? I've been searching all over again and again. Why can't I find your lover? Where could you be? I'm out here still missing you, but I doubt you missing me. Around and around and around we go. Maybe someday I'll finally know that you really, really love me like you say you do. That you really, really want me like I want you to. That you really, really care. You'll finally be here, baby, me and you. What more could you want, my lover? What more could I give? I gave you the world and I still feel that that wasn't it.
No.
Why can't I find your lover? Where could you be? Could it just be me missing you, or you missing me? Around and around and around we go. Or maybe someday I'll finally know that you really, really love me like you say you do. That you really, really want me like I want you to. That you really, really care. You'll finally be here, baby, me and you. That you really, really love me like you say you do. That you really, really want me like I want you to. That you really, really care. You'll finally be here, baby, me and you. Baby, me and you. Baby, me and you. Baby, me and you. Baby, me and you.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I lost it. That is the one. That is one right there. Oh my.